personally, the journey from joining a very well-established IT company to Celonis has been one of excitement. So I joined here to set up the entity in India, and I head Celonis in India. And process mining, of course, it's a new area. I learned about process mining after I joined Celonis. It's been a very exciting journey for me. And we trust that all of you enjoy this session and get an introduction to process mining. And this also ignites your interest in Celonis. Over to you, Rajat.
Thanks, Anita. And a quick background on myself. It's like homecoming. I did my BTech from IIT Delhi 2005, and then from there onward, I've been working with various companies as Oracle, PwC. I joined Celonis a few months back, and I'm leading the global CoE for the professional services here. So very exciting time. I think for me personally, the reason of joining Celonis and moving toward technology like this is I very strongly believe that last few decades have been around the transactional systems. Businesses have been adopting the transactional systems like ERP, CRMs, but next decades will be all around data. How to use that data, how to bring the value out of that data, what inefficiencies can be seen from that. And this is something we'll talk about in today's session. So Anita, if I may ask you, I think you spent more than 25 years in Oracle. What actually motivated you to move to a new technology like process mining at a new company like Celonis?
Yeah, so in Oracle, my last assignment in Oracle was to lead a team, and we used to implement transformation of on-prem systems to the cloud. And now, when I went through this, the whole exercise of selling these projects to the customer, my thought was always with what's in it for the customer. What's the real value? What's the ROI on their investment? Okay. Now, when I looked at the ROI, typically a digital transformation project takes, depending on the size of the company, can be, runs into millions of dollars in terms of cost. Okay. But is the cost saving really ROI really in line with the amount of cost that's being spent? So when I did analysis, when you do a complete cloud transformation, it sometimes takes 3 to 5 years to realize a return on investment. And this is to break even. And when you start realizing value, it would be, about 7 years, 5 to 7 years. Now, I first saw Celonis, about a year back, when my manager from Oracle joined Celonis, and he invited me to, one of the sessions that Celonis was doing. And I was completely amazed by what I saw. Now, he was a product which would help this customer's digital transformation journey to an extent where, it can pinpoint that, yes, these are your process inefficiencies. This is where the problem is. And this is what you need to fix in your IT system. And to me, and when I looked at the ROI, for the customer, it was within 3 months, you can get up to, 10 times your return on investment. Now, this is a value proposition that, surpassed everything else. And hence, I saw a lot of merit in joining Celonis. We're still a startup. And, it was a huge opportunity for us. I see application of Celonis in every, walk of life in every industry. And the potential is unlimited. And that's my reason for joining Celonis.
Thanks, Anita. In fact, I totally resonate, and similar reasons for me also joining Celonis. And today we'll see some of the magic of what Celonis can do and help a lot of businesses to add values to their balance sheet and P&L. So with this, I think it set the context. Anita, you would like to just talk a bit more about Celonis, how we started from a student project, where we stand today.
Yeah. So yeah, before that, there's a question. Is it a type of academic course? Yes, it can be an academic course for all of you. Learning this platform can be part of your course, and it will definitely help you in future while you start working. Okay. Now, Celonis, I like presenting this story to all of you, who are still studying, because Celonis as a company, I mean, it ignites a dream in all students. Because Celonis itself started 10 years back, and three students from the Munich Technology University, master's students, and they were students of mathematics, physics, and computer science, and they did an internship with a company. The company just gave them large volumes of data and said, we have a problem in our processes, can you find out what the problem is? So these students, they had read a paper by Professor Win Vandelast, who's from the Eindhoven University, and he had developed some algorithms for this concept called process mining. And they read this paper and they said, yeah, I think, we should apply process mining, these algorithms to this data. And this would help us find, the inefficiencies in the process, because unless we have some, tool to do this, we cannot go through, this huge mountain of data and find anything out of it. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack. So they used process mining techniques, developed algorithms, and analyzed the data. And the kind of insights that they were able to provide back, the company was really, path-breaking. And this is when, the students thought that, why not create a business out of it? Let's do this for, customers and make money. So they started, Celonis in 2010, and over the last 10 years, we they acquired close to 2,000 customers. And the initial tie-up was with SAP customers, and they analyzed data from SAP source systems to find out process inefficiencies. And from then on, what they did is they the last 2 years is when there has been a huge change in the company, because businesses started looking at investors, found interest in the company. And over the last 3 years, we've received 4 series of funding, and the total funding received is about 2 billion so far. And today we are evaluated at $11 billion dollar company. We are about 2,200 employees worldwide, and growing. And in terms of our revenue, the last 3 years, we have a track record of 100% year-on-year ARR growth. ARR is the annual recurring cloud revenue. Okay, we are ranked number one by the analysts in process mining, and we're a leader in process mining. And we've now, reinvented ourselves, redefined ourselves to be an execution management company, where, as you will hear from the rest of the presentation, process mining really helps you identify process inefficiencies. But it's not only about identifying these inefficiencies, but we also need to fix the process, have automations based on AI and ML, and have intelligent automations that help optimize the process further. And continuous measurement of the process execution as well as optimizing is what our execution management platform provides. The next slide, please. Okay. Now, as I said, processes exist everywhere. Okay, every industry has its processes, and as long as you have a digital track of the processes as they execute within your system, we can apply process mining to it. Okay, so what you see on the slide is the industries across which we have deployed Celonis, and who are using Celonis process mining today. So, and the number of known names here, if you look at manufacturing, 3M, ABB, Bosch, Siemens. Now, a lot of them have their centers in India, which are also using process mining. High tech, SAP, Uber. Dell, Ingram Micro, ServiceNow, they all use Celonis. Telcos, Vodafone, Swisscom, oil and gas, DTE, Murphy, GE, consumer retail, Coca-Cola, AB InBev, Unilever, Whirlpool, pharma, financial services, aerospace and defense. So across the industry, we're present. And like I said, as long as there's a process, you're executing something, there is an applicability of process mining in your industry.
So interesting thing, Anita, to see is that industries like financial services and pharma, which are very tough to work with the data because they're very sensitive on the data, and even these industries now are using process mining to bring out the inefficiencies in their processes.
Yeah. And the other thing that you should also notice is it's the large companies that are going for it first. Okay. Because the large companies, they've reached a level of capturing data, digitization, and now it is for them to act on this information that they've been capturing over the years and to further optimize. Okay. And so this is really taking them to the next level. Okay. Now, Celonis, how we're just 2,200 globally, but how have you reached out to, this entire huge customer base, and what is our growth, story? So we have a very partner-based, partner ecosystem-based growth. We have around 250 plus service partners. So all your big four consulting firms, as well as the Twitch companies, as well as regional, leaders, leading consulting firms, are all partners of Celonis, and most of them have a team that's proficient in Celonis, and they implement Celonis for their customers. There are, all the companies that do digital transformation projects, okay, they have figured out that using Celonis gives them that advantage, gives them the ability to create value for their customers. Okay. Globally, we have more than, the mechanism that we use is we tie up with these partners and we enable their teams on Celonis. So if you look across, our partner ecosystem, we have about 25,000 plus certified Celonis professionals across our ecosystem. And another, very important focus for us is really to tie up with our academic partners. So we have about 600 plus universities that, we're partnering with globally to enable students on Celonis. Both for learning Celonis as an application or as a platform and tool, but also, if, data science students want to use Celonis for their research, they have access to a version of Celonis which they can use for this. Okay, and so this is to your question, Mohit. Is this a type of academic course? Yes, it is academic, and we would like to partner with institutions to enable access to all the students of engineering and the STEM subjects primarily to access Celonis, learn Celonis, and use Celonis. Okay. Now this is, just to give you an idea of today, what is the job market like, for Celonis. So Celonis, we've just set up in India in October last year. And our plan is over the next 3 years, we grow to at least, 1,000 people in India. Most of this talent has to come from the student community, who are passing out and who are getting trained, because Celonis, process mining as an area is quite new in the market itself. Okay. But just to give you some insights into the kind of job openings that are there. So with IBM is looking for a solution manager, automation and process mining. Accenture is, advertising for process mining jobs. We have KPMG, we have TCS, we have Deloitte, we have, okay,
Is Deloitte?
yeah, this is a little small, Rajat.
This is from DICE in US.
Okay, so and if you look at the companies, and if you look at the the Accenture ad, this is in France. So most of the process mining jobs today are in the US, Europe, and the US. Okay, and the because that's because the end customers are there. It's still not yet very popular in India in terms of the end customer base, but a huge number of opportunities exist in the North America as well as Europe, which are the most advanced economies. And in India, really, the opportunity is with the global SIs, as well as the Twitch companies, all the consulting firms that have tied up with us, BPOs, and the global competency capability centers of the G2K customers, where India has over 1,500, such capability centers or shared service centers, as we call it, and where Celonis, is very applicable. And so the job opportunities, knowing Celonis, I would say the future is, not about knowing just knowing an SAP or an Oracle, but it's, or even, the programming languages, but knowing, tools like Celonis, which would give you that advantage in your next job.
So Anita, if I have to just add to what you said, is we are a product companies, a lot of organizations using our product to add value to their processes, to bring out inefficiencies in their processes and fix them, as well as we partner with the academic institutions where students can use our platform, our product, to actually do for their academic purposes, research and R&D purposes. And there's so much jobs in the market, not just from Celonis, but also from our partners ecosystem, who are looking for Celonis process engineers. Okay, so with this, we just completed our first chapter. I think we just in the college, and we are calling this as chapter 1. So chapter 2 is, let's take a step back in terms of what process movement are. What are we talking about processes? What is this process from a business context perspective? Before we actually dive into what is process mining, and then see how actually the process mining works for various organizations. So actually, I like this analogy. Think of a plane crash. If a plane crash happens, and uh, the investigator, the agencies will actually try to find out those reasons why the plane crash happens, what the challenges or the issues came as the plane crash happened. So they may talk to all the survivors, the ATC people and stuff, but one of the main area which they look for is the black box, because black box is the area which records every data point which has led to the plane crash, in terms of what's the altitude was, what was the speed, what is the duration and stuff. So in current organizations, in today businesses, the black box is the ERP systems or the CRM system, which are tracking all these data points and can actually open up a lot of details about the challenges which the businesses are facing. So think of ERP or the transaction systems as the black box in a business, and the various challenges what the business can see can be opened up from the ERP systems. So there's just a question for everyone. Please feel free to just put it on the chat. What challenges do you see that companies may be facing today? So Anita, based on your experience, do you want to give some examples? What are the type of challenges companies face today uh, in their
Yeah.
organizations?
Today's, the context I've seen over the last 25 years that the environment has changed so much that this has forced, the companies to change. Now, the last, we just came out of a pandemic, and I'm surprised that, all of us still have our jobs, and we were able to execute it without any hitch. Now, this is because of technology. Okay, and this is change. But what has happened is, this technology and, the pandemic also has given rise to new needs and new companies. So today, the kind of the service delivery kind of businesses that are there, and something like Swiggy, Dunzo, you have Blinkit, Zepto, which delivers grocery in less than 10 minutes. Now, we see all of these businesses have gained importance and they've become very popular. And it's a new set of problems that they have. Like, for instance, for Blinkit, it's how do I, deliver in 10 minutes? And it's not just about delivering in 10 minutes. If I have a whole army of delivery, service delivery agents, I can deliver, every customer order in 10 minutes. But can I do this at a affordable cost so that I still make a profit? Now that's a problem that I see, that they have to resolve.
Thanks, Anita. In fact, Mohit, yes, a lot of employees are leaving the organizations or changing the career paths. So you see what Uber and Ola, they are facing the employee crunch, the workforce challenges. So absolutely true. I think there are so many challenges what these companies are facing today. And what we have tried doing is we can't list down everything. So we just try to put out some of the challenges which we see most frequently the businesses are facing today. So if you see today, businesses are they adopted ERP or the CRMs, and then as the businesses keep on evolving, they have been using the peripheral system to fix that, which has created a very complex IT landscape for most of these organizations. Now, on one side, they have business challenges like customer expectations, what Anita, you were referring in terms of 10 minutes delivery. I think we couldn't have imagined this a few years back, but now customers are expecting same day delivery, 10 minutes delivery and stuff, shorter product cycles. I think the kind of upgrades happening in every sector, like phones, every year a new version of a new upgrade of phones are coming in, or in the automobile industries, a new car variants are coming in every year, almost every year. So the whole product cycle have shortened down, and then definitely there's a need of a mass customization. So people are expecting very customized product even in the mass cycle, B2C cycle. So on the one side, for the challenges on the business and the expectation on the businesses, on the technology side, there's a large digital transformation needs. As I said, I think business started with ERP, CRM, and then they have these peripheral systems. So how do you consolidate these systems? With the disruptive technologies like RPA, blockchains, even the process mining. So all these things are adding a lot of challenges for the business to see in terms of disruptive technologies. And definitely then the global supply chain, the need for a global supply chain. So all these challenges are definitely related to the challenges we see from a processes perspective. And just to share statistics, from 1955, if we see Fortune 500 companies, there are only 12% of those companies still appear in Fortune 500 2021. So in last 70-year close, almost 88% companies have shut down or have gone out of the Fortune 500 cycle because of these challenges which these companies are facing. So, and this is the true reason why the market leaders now, they are no more calling them as a product companies. They are willing to call themselves as a process companies, because they know that the process excellence are extremely critical for having a successful businesses. So this is a quote from Amazon, that they are no more they don't call themselves a product company, but more of a process company. So we have talked about processes, but let's just, for understanding of everyone, what we say as a process. So by definition, obviously, a process is a business process or a business method, which is a collection of related structured activities or tasks that in a specific sequence produces a service or a product. Yeah, so a simple definition of a process. Let's understand what relates most to most of us. I think most of us may have ordered pizza at some point of time. So if we see a pizza order till delivery, I think this is what we say as a step or as a process. So you may call up the pizza center, place your order. Based on your order placement, then a chef will be assigned and will start baking the pizza. Once the pizza baking happens, and then the packaging will happen and someone will leave for delivery. And finally, payment collection may happen. So this is a process which we see and typically we call in process mining as a happy path. So this is the path which is followed in most of the cases. But in reality, I think there are so many variations happen in this process. I don't think the life is so straightforward. It never happens linear. So we have seen uh, when a baking happens, someone will call up and say, "Hey, please cancel the pizza." And Anita, if you remember, last week itself happened with us. When we ordered a pizza, a non-veg pizza, and then we realized it was Navaratri, and we had to call them and say, "Hey, please cancel our order. We can't have a non-veg pizza during the Navaratri season." So we also added to this variant last week in the pizza data point. So this is one variant. Another variant can be delivery once the person has left for delivery, but he couldn't reach. There's a wrong address, or person doesn't accept the pizza, and it again goes back to the assign order stuff. Or as simple as you overcooked and led to have to rebake again. So all these variants from the happy path actually adds to cost to the company. By direct cost in terms of a material cost, people have to rebake or there's a wastage of material, as well as human cost because these efforts are wasted. So there's a direct cost associated with these variants, as well as indirect or opportunity loss because uh, the organization may have served multiple customers in that period of time while they were able to serve only one of you, or the customer satisfaction go down if the pizza baking or the late delivery happen. I'm sure we may have seen that aspect, and next time we start feeling like, should we order from the same place or should we order from some different place? So all these variants add to the cost of the process what organizations are facing for. And this is the reason why business processes are looking for more insights in their business processes. So on a quadrant of more insights, insight to time, how they take to get these insights. The traditional methods have been either to go through the process documentations, read through the scripts, the documents which may have been prepared a few years back. This process may be fast, but gives a very less insight what actually happening, because these are like something may have been created few years back or some time back, but never get updated, and that's why it gives very less insight. Maybe fast on terms of giving those insight, but those are hardly useful for. This second approach, which we have seen a lot of consulting organization carrying out the expert interviews going out to the process owners, business owners, trying to understand from them what they see that processes are happening for. Again, this is something which may give slightly more insight, but very, very time consuming activity. And you get to hear from what people believe what the process is rather than actually what the process may be. So few processes may see that process owners may see that certain processes are working in a certain fashion and they will share their perspective. But in the realities, there can be many, many variations coming in. The third approach, traditional approach, has been look out the data for and try to define certain KPIs, business KPIs, and keep monitoring them on a regular basis. So this definitely gives insight because this is based on certain of data, but very, very again, time consuming activity. So all these traditional processes have been inefficient or are not powerful enough in a current situation where there are so many challenges and evolving situations happening on a regular basis. And that's where the process mining comes into picture, which is extremely fast because you just plug with your black box, what we are saying, the transactional system or the ERP systems, and you start getting the insight of it very fast and what actually happening rather than based on perception. So this is how the process mining actually plays out the role from the traditional process of getting the insights in the business process. So another a short questions for all of you. What process do you have in mind? Any business processes, any process that you have seen, which you think you've seen as processes? Either for me, it's always interesting. We should probably collaborate with some of the airlines, what we did with Lufthansa, but a boarding process is very interesting for me in terms of getting the boarding pass and the time and the process or the steps it takes to reach and board the airplane. So that's a very interesting business process for me. Anything, Anita, you have from your experience sharing typical business processes?
Yeah, so in terms of business processes, what I see as a problem, I mean, for me personally, is that I wish Uber wouldn't cancel their cabs so often. Each time I book it, I'm like busy, by the time I'm waiting for about 10 minutes for it to come. And, when it's just 1 minute away, I realize, it's just canceled and, I have to rebook. So that's my problem.
Perfect. And so I think, Mohit, you have a question that do we use this for agriculture? So yes, in fact, a very interesting use case of process mining has come in, where a person is using process mining to actually track the life cycle of the trees. He has taken a forest and he has planted a lot of trees there. So he's using the process mining to track the life cycle of the trees and the forest growth. So yes, process mining can be used in many sectors, including agriculture as well. So what is process mining? Now we have understood the processes. What's a process mining is. This is a definition by Professor Wellwender. He's called the godfather of process mining, and he's a chief scientist with Celonis. So process mining lies at an intersection of process science and data science. So bridging the gap between model-based process analytics and data center. Now, what actually this, just to simplify this in terms of what we mean by this definition. So in a real world activities, there are various activities happening in terms of when you're doing a shopping on Amazon or any online portal, uh, when you're going for a travel, uh, even this session, what you're doing. So there's real world activities happening, and all this data is getting captured in some or the other support system. It can be CRM, it can be ERP, it can be supply chain planning, it can be manufacturing, it can be any system which is collecting this source of data, which leads to what is called as event log, a process data. So it creates a process data in terms of how this data has, I mean, this real world activity has happened. So it creates something called event log, which goes as a feed and create the process insight using the process mining. So there's a process mining at a glance in terms of you have your real world activities, which is captured in by various source systems, leading to creation of process data, and then that process data is used by process mining to create the process insight. So slightly diving into what is event log is what we say as CAT. So think of a situation where you have a case ID, a common ID, so in this example, there are purchase orders and then various activities happening against that purchase order. Is the second A for the activity and then the timestamp. So these are the three things which are required in the event log for process mining to work. So you need to have the common link or event associated with the what activities are happening and then at various timestamp. You can also have more information like users, vendor, material, quantity, and stuff. But for bare minimum, you need these three set of information for process mining to work. And this information can come in any shape and format in Excel, CSV, any structured data can, or Oracle database or any other database can have these three set of information being captured. Now with this, just to summarize this, that there's a log of enormous information being there, which is creating a digital footprint, goes to a process mining, which actually helps to understand the processes as they are really happening based on the data, and it is not based on certain perception. And with the process mining technique, we can have actually three aspects. We can do a discovery. So basically using the data event log, we can discover how the process is getting executed. We can have a conformance in which we can define what my happy path should be and how many of deviations are happening against that happy path. Or I can use my event log and a happy path and define an enhancement that how my to-be process should look like. So all these techniques can happen as part of a process mining. So with this, I think a lot of theory around, we discuss around processes, what processes are, and then we discuss in theory in terms of what process mining is. Now there's the time, let's dive into the real action, how the actually things look like. Before going to that, this is our EMS platform. This is our product, which is used by various companies to unleash the hidden dollars in their businesses. So it can take the ingestion from any transaction system. These are few of the transaction system highlighted, but it can have any transaction system, and then you can have all these execution app activities happening in terms of real time process task mining, simulation, daily management, and then the various action flows that you have. So let me take you to this. I may have to. Let me take you to the live example. Okay. So this is how our product looks like. So once you land into this and you've set up some of these configurations, so uh, we have seeing, for example, 1.3 million sales orders. So there's just a simulation on the order cycle side. So taking a set of data as 1.3 million sales order with a net value of around $3 billion, what it does is it ingests this data and create a process explorer. So this is what a process explorer or the process mining does. So let me just zoom in. So what it does, it takes that event log of data and create this as a flow chart, as a flow, how the process is getting executed. So this is my happy path. It carries out various steps, and it ends. A very clear happy path. Now, but as I start diving into this, I'll see there are variations happening. These are all my variations, and this is leading to increase in the time from my happy path or deviations from my happy path. So this is what you can do actually by feeding the data into the Celonis platform. Create a process using the process explorer. You can actually see what's the path the process is taking, and then what kind of a deviations are happening. And think from a business perspective, all these things are almost impossible to do it through the interviews or reading through the documents and stuff. So let me just show you what practically a business looks like from an order management side. This is just an example, and this is what we call as a spaghetti monster. These kind of variations are happening in any of our businesses, and this is using this product. A business can actually unfold and see that where these gaps are, where the inefficiencies are. Then additionally, this product can actually show what are the top efficiencies, also the root cause for those inefficiencies. So businesses learn using the machine learning algorithm, it actually detects the root cause for those gaps or inefficiencies that the spaghetti diagrams is showing. And then obviously you can actually dive into these root causes and see what's relevant and how much savings that business can have. So for example, just by solving these activities, there's an impact of $160K. So think from a business perspective that they can actually fix this using these root causes highlighted by the machine learning algorithm and save 160K. Same way like 53K and so various issues and corresponding to that, what are the root causes and stuff. Additionally, you can actually set the action flows. What these action flows are actually creating a flow chart in terms of what exactly you want to execute. And this also is using the machine learning algorithm. It can prevent before those inefficiencies happen. So it can actually detect some gaps or issues are supposed to happen. So what we have seen is we can analyze what the inefficiencies are happening. What are the root causes for that? What are the actions required to fix them? Additionally, in future, those inefficiencies don't happen. You can set up actually something like an action flow using a machine learning algorithm, which will actually prevent or actually highlight before even the inefficiencies are supposed to happen. So this is a quick glimpse of our product. I'm not diving into too much of detail, but yes, this product is available, and I'll show you now in terms of how actually you can access this product. There's a sample data there. There's a sample data which is already available in the environment, which I'll just show you. As well as you can actually upload your own set of data for using this platform. Back to the presentation. Where's my presentation? Okay. Okay. So this is a quick glimpse of what our EMS application or the product looks like. This application is freely available for you folks. You can use this link to sign up, and you can use this application, the process explorer, the machine learning algorithms, what's there to identify the inefficiencies for your academic and your research purposes. So you can actually just go to this link, or you can scan this. Yes, you can all, Mohit, I see your question. Can we also track this? Yes, you can also track this. It shows what all inefficiencies are coming in. So you can do proactive step as well as what has already happened. You can also track those activities as well. So coming back to this academic platform, you can use this platform for your R&D purposes, for your research purposes, for your learning purposes. So please sign up this, go to this link, and it will take few minutes for you to just register yourself. In addition to this, there are a lot of free courses that we have, trainings and certificates. And what Anitha showed earlier, there's so much demand in the market for the process mining, for Celonis process mining. So you can go to this celonis.com/training website. You can register yourself, and then you can carry out various training and certificate which have a lot of value in the market. I'm sure a lot of organizations are looking for people uh, with these certificates and trainings being done. Which brings us, I think, to the end of what we plan to do for this workshop. For any questions and answers, we have our academic alliance manager, Anne. She's based out of Munich. She's on leave right now, so she can't join this session, but definitely you can reach out for any questions regarding any of these scores or certification that we just talked about. With this, I'll leave the floor open for any questions or any stuff that you want to know from me and Anitha.
I guess we had the questions during the talk itself. If there is any questions, we can have it on chat.
Okay. So Mohit, your question is whether that certificate will help in any placement. So as I said, a lot of organizations are looking for process mining experts. So once you carry out these certifications, trainings, I'm sure this definitely add a lot of value to your profile. What should be the strategy for data science for next 5 years? So for next 5 years, I think, as I said, a lot of organizations have actually established with their transactional system, the ERPs and CRMs. Now, the organizations are actually moving to the next scale where they want to use this data to use it for value purposes. They want to see how they can add value to their businesses to increase their top line, to reduce their bottom line. So next 5 years, or not just 5 years, next 10 years or so will be all around data. Data will be the new gold, will be the new oil, which everyone will be looking for. And putting a story behind or seeing the data in action is what this process mining will do.
Yeah, so Mohit, to answer two questions, and for anybody else who's interested in joining Celonis, now Celonis, all our job postings are available on our site, and if there is a role for which you have the relevant experience, please go ahead and submit your CV for this. There will be a screening process. And once the CV is screened, you would be called for our recruitment process, which includes multiple rounds of interview as well as a programming challenge or a data challenge. So that's what we have. If you have a knowledge of the Celonis platform or process mining, it is an advantage.
Awesome. So we're close to an hour.
And see, MBA, BTech, they're all degrees today. So any basic STEM degree with an interest in process mining or data mining is what, or the basic interest in data science is what will get you places.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And there is a lot of access to courses on Coursera, and on the internet has made everything very open. It's only the interest and the conviction that is needed from the students.
Okay, so we are close to the end. Thank you so much to Rajat and Anitha for such an informative session. And I would like to also thank the audience for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And all the
Rishita.
best to
Thank
all
you,
of you.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.